Hello! This is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Florida. And today our question comes to us from Tulip Tree. And Tulip Tree writes to say that sometimes a sense of dizziness comes over her for no apparent reason. It doesn't come when she's been doing energy work or spell work, it just comes randomly. And she's wondering if I have any idea what this might be. And the first thing that I would say is do not rule out the possibility that this is a physical problem. And I would say that first and foremost you should talk to a doctor and make sure it's not a physical problem. Now, having done that, if you find that you're still having the problem, but you're told there's not a physical problem, then perhaps it's a psychic problem. And there certainly are certain things that could cause it. And the one that I would think of first would be that you might be having a psychic opening. And what I mean by this is that as we go forward, our consciousness will expand and we'll find that we can do things that we formerly could not, clairvoyance being one of them. And if you're on this path, this kind of opening will come periodically, even if you're not intentionally working towards it. So when we do clairvoyant work, the message literally enters through the crown chakra and works with the third eye. So it's not uncommon to have headaches in association with clairvoyant work when you're beginning. And dizziness is also a possible side effect because it's a strong energy that comes into you. And just as when you do intentional energy work, when this is happening, it will sometimes unbalance your own energy, and one of the effects of that can be making you dizzy. So I would say first, if you're believing that this is the case, having looked into other things, try grounding the energy, but also try working with it intentionally. Try sitting for spirits and bringing through messages intentionally, and see if that doesn't solve the problem. And the way that you do that, of course, is that you set a certain time each day and you sit for, let's say, 15 minutes. You have a pad of paper and a pencil, or better yet, a person to work with, and you just bring through the messages and record them. And you can record them yourself. If you have a person to work with, they can record them for you and you can take turns. And it's very important that you not judge the messages as they come through, you just let them come through you. And you can judge them to your heart's content afterwards. But while you're doing it, whatever comes into your mind should go onto the paper. And you want to try to still your mind, but your mind is never truly still. Things will come into it. What you do is you don't grab onto those things. You don't think about them. You don't reflect upon them. You just let them go across your mind like a cloud across the sky, but you write them down. And if you do this for a little while, it will usually start to make sense, and you'll start to realize that you've been receiving messages. When you first start, they may not make sense because the channel has to be cleared. So this would be my recommendation if you find that it's not a physical problem, that in fact you're having a psychic opening, and this is how I would make that easier. So I hope that answers your question and gives you something to think about, and until next time, may you blessed be. The Tarot of Hecate. My 100-card tarot deck, 30 years in the making, finally available to you from witchschoolstore.com. Check out a copy today.